New comments today, just in, from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Senate's top Republican, suggesting in public on camera that his party, he thinks, will probably stay in the minority after the midterms. Watch.
I think there's probably a greater likelihood the House flips than the Senate. Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome.
Those new comments coming as some of his allies are making some changes in their election strategy in key Senate races across the country. One group aligned with McConnell, we've learned, pumping $28 million into Ohio to prop up J.D. Vance there. I want to bring in NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor on Capitol Hill. And Sahil, in some ways, McConnell is acknowledging, I think, what many people have observed here. You look at Cook Political Report that has just shifted its ratings for Senate races in Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Utah, saying those races are maybe a little less likely to go Republican. Obviously, Utah is still likely Republican. But what's interesting, and I think what caught a lot of people's attention, is McConnell's reference to candidate quality, Sahil.
That's right, Hallie. This shows a real apprehension on the part of Mitch McConnell that despite the historically favorable political environment for Republicans, they might fall short of capturing a Senate majority this year as a result of candidates. Now, McConnell picks his words very carefully. He would not have used that phrase if he didn't have some concerns on that front. And while he didn't name names, it's not difficult to guess who he might be talking about. In Pennsylvania, the Republican nominee, the Trump-endorsed Dr. Oz, has been really struggling against John Fetterman. That race was downgraded for Republicans by the Cook Political Report moved to lean Democrat, which is remarkable for such a swing state and open year. Oz is he keeps getting dunked on, but for his ties to New Jersey, he spent the last few days having to talk more about this odd video regarding crudité that he put out. In Ohio, McConnell allies spending $28 million to prop up J.D. Vance. That state should be a layup for Republicans in a year like this. Remember, Donald Trump won it by 8 points in 2020, even though he lost the country overall by 4.5 points. There are other races, Senate races, where Republicans have nominated untested first-time candidates, like in Georgia and Arizona, states like New Hampshire, where they did not get their prize recruit. You can add Arizona to that list. They did not get the governor of that state they wanted. So this is, McConnell having a little bit of deja vu from 2010 and 2012, Hallie, when Republicans had a good shot at winning control of the Senate both years, but nominated a slate of unelectable extreme candidates like Todd Akin, Richard Murdoch, Christine O'Donnell, that in those two cycles, and ultimately ended up falling short. Now, all of that said, McConnell is not giving up hope for this. It sounded like he's managing expectations, lowering expectations that Republicans will ultimately get there, saying that Democrats will either be up slightly in the end or Republicans will be up slightly. It's very different than the way he talked about 2014, when he was extremely bullish, rightfully so, after Republicans got the candidates they want and swept that year, Hallie.